It's not just idle praise that Minnesota has one of the best voting systems in the country. We really do. And that's what makes what we found so surprising. Felons not allowed to vote or even register slipping through the cracks. Not only because of bureaucracy and budget cuts, but also a failure to use a valuable computer database.
I thought I had made a mistake. I thought, I had got my information mixed up.
Give Mitchell Hayes credit for even talking to the Fox 9 investigators. We came to Stillwater Prison wanting to know how he registered to vote from behind bars, a potential felony.
And no one exactly wants to get hit with voter fraud in here if they're already doing time.
No, we already in here. We just try to get through with the time we're doing right now.
He's not alone. The Fox 9 investigators discovered 93 convicted felons in prison or on supervised release who have registered to vote. All ineligible to vote. All registered this year. Some were mistakenly signed up when they got their driver's license. Some were registered in voter drives by groups like Acorn. And in some cases, it's still a mystery. In Mitchell Hayes' case, someone registered him at City Hall using an old address in Minneapolis where he hasn't lived in more than a year.
Big story here.
We brought our findings to Secretary of State Mark Ritchie, who oversees Minnesota's elections.
This has been incredibly helpful to us. I mean, this is a lot of work for you. Oh, my Lord.
Actually, it was relatively simple. We found all the registered felons by matching up two public databases. The first containing the names of 227,000 Minnesotans who've registered to vote in 2008. The second, a database of more than 15,000 inmates currently under the jurisdiction of the Minnesota Department of Corrections, locked up or on supervised release. 29 of the felons had already been flagged and would have been challenged at the polls, but 64 were unknown to anyone until the Fox 9 investigators found them.
We're not in an ideal world. We do not get it electronically yet. And so living in a real world, it makes it clear that being more realistic requires telling the legislature, hey, we need to be able to use several sources of data.
Under state and federal law, voter registration cards can only be matched against these databases: Social Security, Public Safety, which includes a driver's license and state IDs, and Health Department death records. For criminal records, the state relies on the courts, 87 separate county criminal courts at various stages of computerizing their records.
The biggest problem has been in Hennepin County. The criminal courts here switched over to a new computer system back in July of 2007. Because of computer and budget problems, they haven't referred the name of a single felon to the Secretary of State's office in 15 months, until just 2 weeks ago. This in a county that sentences 300 felons every single month.
And even with the names Hennepin County sent 3 weeks ago, the records were not electronic. Thousands of names had to be entered by hand.
We need to get the data electronically, and we can't get a year's worth of data just a couple weeks out from the biggest election of our lifetime.
Fox 9 discovered 26 felons in Hennepin County who registered to vote and had yet to be challenged. No other county came close. 4 in Ramsey County, 4 down south in Winona County, 2 in Dakota County, and 6 others scattered across the state.
This is a real alarm to us in the sense that we need to be extra careful. So,
the Secretary of State admits there's a better way, the one the Fox 9 investigators found, the Department of Corrections database. Every prisoner and thousands more on supervised release. All the data right there, and it's updated daily. You even get a picture.
Your investigatory work has been a really positive both contribution to this process now, but unbelievably helpful when we talk to the legislature next year.
Secretary Ritchie plans on asking lawmakers next session to allow him to use the Department of Corrections database. It's not foolproof. For example, it doesn't track felonies handled at the county level, but it will help them fill in some gaps. Finally, the Secretary of State has flagged all the felons we've brought to their attention. They'll be questioned at the polls, and they've referred several of the cases we discovered to the local county attorneys for possible prosecution. For the Fox 9 investigators, I'm Tom Lydon.